a student like John because he over-exaggerates his teachers. So he has got a larger than life-size portrait of me, which I don't really deserve. And so I wish if I were as important as that. I'm very happy to be here, not because I participated in a seminar yesterday or today I'm participating in Gandhi Jayanti, but because I was able to meet some very great people, very committed people, people who have a vision. I've been in several institutions which bear the name of Gandhi and claim to be Gandhian institutions. But I've seldom come across people, a collection of people, a community of people with such clarity and of vision and commitment as Mahatma Gandhi Memorial University. So that I think has been probably the most important thing, that experience that I have gathered from here, not that I made one lecture or two lectures. Today is Gandhi Jayanti, and we have been observing Gandhi Jayanti for a long time. Observing Gandhi Jayanti started when Gandhi was alive. And once his own intimate colleagues asked him, "How do you want to characterize Gandhi Jayanti, your birthday?" And he said that if at all you are very keen about characterizing it and christening it, you call it Charka Jayanti, not Gandhi Jayanti. And for many years, Gandhi Jayanti was observed as Charka Jayanti. And many people may not know it. And in California State University at Berkeley had a center of peace studies, started by an Indian, Eknath Ishwaran, who was in Nagpur University. He was a professor of English in Nagpur University. And he hails from the state to which I also happen to belong, Kerala. He started the Peace Studies Center. And they take Gandhi and nonviolence very seriously. And they used to observe the October 2nd as Charka Jayanti Day. Even today, Michael Nagler, who was a student of Eknath Ishwaran and was in charge of the department, who is a very renowned professor of classical literature and Gandhian philosophy, he observes Gandhi Jayanti as Charka Jayanti. And when he sends a message to me, even today the message I received from him was, "Greetings on Charka Jayanti." That's one thing, you know. What is the significance of, why do we observe Gandhi Jayanti? What is the significance of Gandhi Jayanti? We do it as a matter of course, almost as a ritual. We pay glowing tributes to the memory of Gandhi and say that we are proud of his legacy. But are we really? Are we really worthy of claiming to follow the legacy of Gandhi? It's an open question, it's a moot question. Gandhi was approached for a message, at the dawn of independence. And Gandhi was not a person who dismissed journalists like our contemporary politicians who ran away from media people. But he said that, no, please don't ask for a message to me. But they persisted. And we know perseverance always produces results. And finally they pressurized Gandhi to give a message. And he said that if at all you are very keen to receive a message from me, write, "My life is my message." Have you ever come across a person in history who had the courage of conviction and the forthrightness to say that my life is my message? So here is one who is the father of our nation. What does his life really teach us? What does the life of Gandhi really teach us? There are several ways of living, but we can classify the way we live into two. One is you lead a purposeful life, and then you lead a casual life. You flow according to the current, but you swim against the current. You swim in the direction which you think is the right direction. That's purposeful living, and that was what Gandhi lived. He knew he had odds to face in his life, but he faced them boldly. Where did he get all the courage to do this? What was the source, the spring of his fearlessness, his courage? That is to us, for Gandhi it was very simple. It was his faith in God. He said, there's only one way to destroy me. If you attack me physically, if you chop off my arms, you are not going to kill me. You blast my belief in God, you destroy me. So it was his faith, simple faith, that was the source of his fearlessness. And his life is an open book, and it's in front of us to read and understand. So I don't want to say that. But he proved, what the famous American poet wrote. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow has a poem which concludes with these lines: the lives of great men all remind us. The lives of great men all remind us. We can make our life sublime, and departed leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. So Gandhi has left his footprints on the sands of time, not only on the Indian shore, as my friend Professor Ramin was saying, it's a global footprint. It's all over the world. And I will say one more thing, because this is a university. I have also been fortunate enough to be associated with universities in India and abroad. How do we do justice to the contribution of Gandhi, the message of Gandhi? We all speak about relevance. How do we make Gandhi's message relevant? We can say Gandhi is relevant umpteen times. But no message becomes relevant unless and until we make it relevant. So how can a university make the message of Gandhi relevant is the challenge before us. I was in the university which bore the name of Mahatma Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi University. And October 2nd was a holiday, full holiday, and everybody enjoyed sitting home or even going on a holiday. There was no observance like this. I tried, failed. I was not a vice chancellor, and there's no point in insisting and imposing. So we started a School of Gandhian Studies in the university where I was professor and director. That doesn't make, the message of Gandhi relevant to a university by starting a department, separate department. It's like any other conventional faculty, nothing more, nothing less. Academicians can make Gandhi relevant. Educational institutions can make Gandhi relevant by incorporating the Gandhian perspective into all disciplines. The first book that Gandhi wrote was Hind Swaraj. He wrote it in 1909. Americans say 1909. And in the book he writes about history, writing history, historiography, the way people write history. I'm sorry if I'm taking a little more time. What did Gandhi say? That the history that we all, the seniors study, that children are studying, are written from a war perspective. History of humanity, as depicted in the books of history, textbooks of history particularly, are the history of a series of wars. First World War, Second World War, and we say that the period in between is an interim period, as if the mainstream consists of wars and peace is interim. Gandhi challenged this. And he said that wars are interruptions. People live by and far, people live in peace for long periods, and because of human stupidity, there are wars in between. So a whole new approach to history is required. Gandhi suggested in the Hind Swaraj, there should be a peace historiography, incorporating a peace perspective, a non-violence perspective, which is the mainstream way we live, the main way we live. So there's a Gandhian way, there's a Gandhian perspective in which you can frame and teach all disciplines in science and technology, history, whatever be, medical sciences. There's a perspective, a non-violence perspective. In science particularly, your Vice Chancellor is from the science and technology discipline. The approach to science is a very reductionist approach. The Newtonian model. There's a different approach which is holistic, which is known as the systems approach, which is not linear thinking, which is a lateral thinking. So science could be taught like that. How modern science, the researchers in modern science has disproved many of the conceptions, mainstream conceptions in science. So all these things could be incorporated while teaching technology, while teaching health sciences. A peace perspective or a non-violence perspective could be incorporated. And that, I think, is the great challenge for institutions who take Gandhi's message seriously and would like to make it relevant by their academic work. So I would request the authorities of the university to consider this point seriously and do workshops in different disciplines to find out how you will be able to reframe the whole thing and develop new pedagogies in order to teach subjects from Gandhian, incorporating the non-violence, peace perspective into disciplines. This is how we can make Gandhi relevant. Of course, we can pay tribute to his memory. We have to remember him, and also you will find another portrait on the dais on the side of Mahatma Gandhi. I don't know whether the students could recognize the face. That is Lal Bahadur Shastri, who was Prime Minister of India, whose birthday is also on the 2nd of October. He was a person who was born in a very poor family, who didn't have the money to pay a ferry to cross the Ganga to do his studies. So he swam across the shallow part of the river in order to reach his school. But he became the Prime Minister of India. What kind of a Prime Minister was he? And I will just tell you one anecdote. We have to do justice to this great man of India, who was a Gandhian also. When he was Prime Minister, once he was returning to his residence, his official residence from his office, he found that some work was going on in the building. He found people, and he called them and asked, "What are you going to do?" And they were from the central PWD, and they were going to fix some air conditioning in the residence of the Prime Minister. Can you imagine there was a time when the Prime Minister's residences did not have air conditioning? So they were trying to fix air conditioners. Shastriji stopped to them and said, "Don't do this. Because tomorrow, when I am not Prime Minister, I don't have a house of my own. I don't know where I am going to stay. So if you fix an air conditioner and teach me to live in, acclimatize me to this kind of comfort, then tomorrow I'll be finding it extremely difficult to lead a normal life. So don't spoil me with luxuries. Yeah. So he stopped them. He did not have an air conditioner. Of course, unfortunately, he died in Tashkent in Russia in 1966. That's a different story. So we had such great people. You know, Gandhi, who could live in a small ashram, and the greatest economist who worked with him, Joseph Cornelius Kumarappa, lived in a smaller hut than Gandhi lived. We had Lal Bahadur Shastri, and such great people. And we who find the pomp and glory of today's leaders and rulers. So that's not the point. I wanted to pay tribute to the memory of Lal Bahadur Shastri. I remember how he inspired us. I was a sophomore student when he passed away. On the southern tip of this country. And still, you know, the pain and anguish the people felt when he departed was great, indescribable. So we had the good fortune to have such eminent leaders who led the national movement in the country. And so we must be worthy of their legacy and their messages. So that's what I want to say. And therefore I request the eminent galaxy of academicians here to consider this point and thus try to make the message of Gandhi relevant in the field where we are committed to work. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to visit this wonderful campus. And I express my gratitude to everyone who has been responsible for bringing me here. Thank you.